Back in the saddle.
Not to sound insensitive, I laughed a little.
I mean, that was a wild finish. You got to admit. That was absolutely crazy. Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Losers Lounge. We are live from the Losers Lounge, the Toyota Losers Lounge, after a Nuggets Summer League loss, 90-89. The Nuggets fall in this one. Summer League opener. Hey, man, this was an ugly first half. I enjoyed the second half. The Nuggets played pretty well in the third and fourth. They were right there at the end, and the Bucks hit a game-winning shot.
Booyah! Booyah!
There we go. We're going to talk all about it, give our big takeaways, and what we thought of DaRon Holmes and the Nuggets roster. We are live here in the Toyota Lounge. We have Adelman's D-Line and Superstar Dev in Vegas. We'll hear from a couple of them, I think, throughout the show as well. But yeah, excited to talk about this one. I'm Harrison Wind with Brendan Vogt.
We did have a fun time on the watch along, and the first half started really slow. The second half ended up being competitive. I almost thought, Harrison, we were going to watch the Nuggets win a summer league game together. The opener. It
seemed like the way it was trending, man.
Which they always
that first half. We're not going to do a fast recap because I just don't care enough.
I don't
to do
blame you. Yeah.
This is the fast recap. That first half, that was like fourth or fifth game at Summer League caliber.
And they stopped for a review. There were a lot of foul calls. Like, everyone got excited for basketball, and then they really tested you right off the bat.
That was an unbelievably bad first half. But the third and fourth quarter, I actually really enjoyed, man. That was a fun third and fourth quarter, and the Nuggets were right there. They were up 2 last possession of the game, and booyah of the Bucks, who had a decent game, hits a game-winning 3 over EJ Liddell.
Honestly, a nasty shot. It
was a good-looking shot.
Step back, pump fake 3.
Nuggets dropped to 0-1 at Summer League, 90-89. But the thing is, really based on that second half, I feel like there are a lot of takeaways from this one, a lot of positives for some of the important guys on this Nuggets roster. We'll go to big takeaways right now. What do you have for the biggest thing that stood out to you today?
I'll take the easy one and just say DaRon Holmes looked ready to play. Did not look afraid to me, did not look tentative, maybe a bit slow. He is 6'10", coming off an Achilles tear. I know he wasn't necessarily the quickest dude out there to begin with, but he didn't look hesitant to me. Obviously, takes and makes that first three-point attempt. No hesitation, plenty of confidence. It didn't look like he was afraid to move. The blocked shot specifically, the pump fake, and then the drive and the layup, where I thought in both instances he looked pretty athletic. And I thought you wanted to see Holmes hit some open threes, maybe block a shot or two, and that's exactly what happened. I would say for a young man coming off an Achilles rupture, that is a very, very, very good Summer League re-debut.
I agree, man. I thought Holmes played great, all things considered. He's first quarter, the first couple minutes of this game, looked a tiny bit hesitant, but not really. Splashed a 3 pretty quickly in this one early on, and honestly, to me, looked very comfortable. Like, DaRon Holmes, he's not a guy who's going to explore his game. He's not a guy who's going to, really try to cook in Summer League. He's going to play in his role. He's going to, play DaRon Holmes basketball, and that's what he did. So I was honestly pretty impressed, man. First game off an Achilles. They've been practicing, they've been scrimmaging on the practice court in the lead up to this game. You can't really count that stuff. First real competitive action for DaRon Holmes. I thought it was a huge success, to be honest. He finishes with 15 points. That was a team high. 3 of 5 from 3, 6 of 9 from the field overall.
A couple of clutch buckets as well, Harrison.
Had a couple nice drives to the rim and finishes. He had that one in the second half. I think it was early in the third quarter. Shot fake from 3. Had an open look, but shot faked. This was after he had hit a couple.
Yep.
Got by his defender and a nice finish at the rim. Had that block that you mentioned. So I think you got to love what you saw from DaRon. Like, this was a really encouraging performance, I thought, in his first game off the Achilles.
I think the outside shot is essential.
Yeah.
Especially because we talked about this pregame. You know, they probably only tried to get Holmes the ball inside the perimeter maybe once in that game.
There was only really one point where they got the switch and he looked for the ball on like a mismatch.
Right. You know, maybe he could have been more aggressive. Maybe it just wasn't in the game plan. They didn't really look for him. He got one kind of steal in the mid post and drew a foul. But I mean, this is kind of, it's nice that Holmes is versatile, but if he makes it, he has to do one thing at a pretty high level. And I think the shot is something he has a chance to really be good with at the NBA level. And we heard encouraging things coming out of camp, but empty gym shooting is so different.
Yeah, for sure.
And coming out in this context, knocking him down, I thought it looked good out of his hand. I thought it looked confident. And obviously he hit him.
There is just a moth that has been circulating the studio throughout the entire night.
Driving me insane.
And I just know it's going to land right on me during this show. We'll see, though. We'll see what happens. The shot, like you said, like that's definitely the first thing that comes to mind with DaRon Holmes. And it's always looked legit.
Yep.
It looked legit coming out of the draft.
Yep.
It looked legit in the first, half of Summer League. The first half of the Summer League game he played before the Achilles last year. And it looked great tonight. I mean, his three-point stroke looks really good. And if you're thinking about how he could contribute to the Nuggets next season and beyond, the first thing that he's probably going to help with is three-point shooting. Like, that shot is probably going to be the first thing that he really brings to the table. So, really encouraging stuff for DaRon. Like, if you're him, you got to feel just really happy with how you played. Probably a little bit of nerves, maybe.
I'm sure.
A little bit of maybe just anxiousness. But now I'm really excited to see what he does in game 2 since he played so well. You got to think his confidence is through the roof.
Confidence. I'm sure some relief as well.
Relief, that's a good
just
word,
to get through it, right? I mean, again, last year he did not even get a full game underneath his belt. Comes back to the same gym and plays well, makes it through the whole game, moves pretty well, and honestly was good in crunch time as well. He'll probably, I'm sure somewhere in his scrum, he said, I'm disappointed we didn't get the win. That's what matters.
Yeah.
But truthfully, that's actually not accurate. What matters is DaRon Holmes looking comfortable, and he did tonight. Really, really encouraging.
Yeah. The other big takeaway, I think, for me, is that there were a couple other guys that looked intriguing.
I agree.
I'll say. I think there are a couple other guys that you can slot under the category of intriguing. And I'll go with maybe, another guy who really stood out for me, and that was E.J. Liddell.
Totally, man.
So E.J. Liddell, if you don't know about him, Ohio State one-and-done player, I believe, or standout at Ohio State, tore his ACL and slid in the draft from was going to be like a top 20 pick into the beginning of the second round, went to New Orleans.
Yep.
And has kind of really struggled to find his footing. But you can see in games like today, where the skill set comes from, where the DNA comes from. He looked solid, I thought. E.J. Liddell finished with 12 points, 11 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds, played a bunch even though he came off the bench. The Nuggets have this third two-way spot open. I'm not ready to say anybody's like the leader in the clubhouse for it.
But he made an impression.
But I can kind of see it with E.J. Liddell. Solid player. I don't know if he's going to be a guy, but he was probably number 2 on my... He looked good today.
He definitely popped. Just for posterity's sake, 3 years at Ohio State.
Okay.
His junior year, he averaged 19.5 points per game on 49% shooting. Nothing to sneeze at the college level at all. He looks like he knows how to play basketball. He looked poised. He looked strong, too. There was one possession where he put a shoulder into someone and sent them flying. And, of course, E.J. Liddell had that monster flying go-ahead put-back dunk. That was not the winner in the end. But a monster play there. I thought he really shined, 12 and 11, and I think really good on the offensive glass. So he looked just unintimidated by playing at this level, I would say. And a guy I have an eye on after one game.
The chat's saying they saw the moth in the camera shot.
It is a huge moth. Yeah, I can agree with the chat. It's a huge moth.
The chat has caught on to the moth. Kale, what time are we at? Are we... Okay, let's talk about... Who else do you think stood out to you?
Well, I think...
If you had to give another name.
Yeah, I don't know how well, this is good because we just talked about the two ways. One name to consider, I think, is Tyrell Harrison, who you may have noticed starting. He was the big guy, the 7'1" center.
Yeah.
From Brisbane, Australia. Dad from New Zealand, I believe. 26 years old. So the oldest guy on the Nuggets Summer League roster. And I think that's always worth pointing out at Summer League. Sometimes a guy looks really great. You double check. Well, 25, 26. He had some injuries as a young professional in Australia, which kind of set him back a little bit. But I bring him up, Harrison, for two reasons. One, the Nuggets, last year with the two-way spots, they had a big, a wing, and a guard. Well, right now they have the guard and the wing. Wing, maybe. They have Spencer Jones, more of a forward. Maybe if they're looking for a big, Tyrell Harrison did himself some favors tonight, where I thought 13 and 8, I think he finished with.
Yeah.
The finishing was tough at first. He smoked a few, but he settled in. And I thought it ended up being an impact big tonight. Didn't light the world on fire, doesn't jump out of the gym, but some fancy footwork, active, and I thought rebounded pretty well.
He started out awful. The first minute of this game, you were like, this guy sucks. But then he picked it up. He looked composed the rest of the game, had some nice finishes around the rim. Looked like a quote-unquote professional. And it was interesting because coming into this game, you were like, all right, are they just going to start DaRon at the 5? Or are they going to maybe slide one of these 7-footers into the starting lineup? They went with Tyrell Harrison, and yeah, he was solid, man. 8 rebounds, plus 14. He was a team high in the plus minus in this game. Like I said, started off really bad, but then picked it up from there.
I mean, we said you got to have one sort of NBA-ready skill. When you're 7'1", it's built in. You're 7'1". That's big enough for the NBA. So you show any skill, maybe you can impress some people. I think athletically, he is pretty limited. He's a little stiff, but he was active on the glass and an impactful player. So, he gave them a chance to win tonight. And honestly, they almost did. I had forgotten already.
Yeah. The other guy that I think probably deserves a mention in segment 1 is Hunter Tyson. We can talk Spencer Jones too, but Hunter Tyson in this game, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 4 of 14 shooting, played pretty well up until the fourth quarter. It seemed like when he just started bricking everything.
Man, he was really, really active to start this game. Had a ton of rebounds. He grabbed every loose ball. I mean, every loose ball, which is what you want from a guy who's showing up to his third summer league. Lead by example, play aggressively. He was very aggressive to start the game, but his efficiency tailed off, and he was really forcing it in the fourth quarter. And, we do our summer league ratings.
Yeah, those are dropping soon.
And Hunter, at one point, was flirting with one of the top rankings. Shot himself, I think, out of it. He was really, really inefficient. And there's a bottom line to me with Hunter, which is he is a shooter, allegedly.
Yeah,
that's the
He's got to
archetype.
be a shooter.
He has to hit open threes. And honestly, since it's first summer league, I don't think we've seen it. We've heard about it. He's a good open gym shooter. He's a good practice shooter. It has not translated.
He's been a good summer league shooter before.
Summer league shooter. It just hasn't translated for him at the NBA level. And as long as that's the case, it's just hard to see him having any sort of career.
He had a couple great looks in the fourth that would have pushed the Nuggets lead up a little, or they were a couple real momentum shots that he just missed. And if he makes those, hey, his night looks pretty good, but he missed them in this one.
I don't know, maybe Leiden. I mean, he's a guy where I go, I really, really hope this goes in.
Yeah.
And it looks good, and it's probably not going in, man.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. I don't enjoy kind of talking about Hunter this way over and over again, but it's just sort of where we're at until those threes fall. he's not bringing a lot to the table.
Yeah, let's hit a break. On the other side, we will get to the fellas in Vegas. Eric and Dev, I think, are waiting for us on the other side.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll go first, talk about our friends at Miller Lite. When the Nuggets win at Summer League, it's Miller time. When the Nuggets lose at Summer League, it's Miller time. When you go to Vegas to watch basketball, it is absolutely Miller time. A Miller Lite is the original light beer. And as a wise man once said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, which is why they haven't changed the recipe of Miller Lite since 1975. It's also a nice grill season right now. It's been hot out. I've been kicking it at Cheeseman Park. There's no wrong way to grill, but you can get filled up real quick, right? A lot of tasty meats. That's why you need a light beer. That's why you need Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/DNVR to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Guys, check out Cake Mortgage, non-QM loans. Cake is the business owner's home mortgage partner. If you're a regular employee of a company, you get a W-2, your income shows on your tax return. Traditional lenders love that. But if you're not a typical employee, maybe you're a business owner, maybe you're doing some side gig off to the side, hit up Cake Mortgage. If you're looking to buy a house, if you need a loan, Cake can get business owners approved by validating your cash flow through bank statements, certified profit and loss statements, or business tax returns. Creative professionals, contractors, tech entrepreneurs, business founders, freelancers, anyone who, quote, kills their own meat. Cake Mortgage Corp, equal housing lender, NMLS number 1734623, licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply. There's a link in our description to get started. If you're looking to buy a house, Cake Mortgage. That's who you got to go with. Creative professionals, contractors, tech entrepreneurs, business founders, freelancers. Check out the link in our description for Cake Mortgage.
Quickly address a little discussion in the chat there. Yes, Holmes is still technically a rookie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that doesn't count because he didn't play.
Do we have the fellas from Vegas?
Who do you want to see first?
I don't know. Surprise me. Eric, maybe?
Are we live?
Oh, no. Super producer Kale.
We are, I believe, going to...
Oh, there we go.
Superstar Dev?
Superstar Duvalier. What's cracking, my man?
Yo. Yeah. Yo, what's up? What's up? We're in Vegas. We're all about Vegas. It feels great outside. That's what I've noticed. It was 108 degrees today.
108?
I know because I looked at it multiple times. It was crazy.
Yo, Dev, Eric put in the Slack that he has Tamar Bates.
Eric's somewhere else. So Adam's doing his thing. He's walking up. He's talking to players. Yeah, he just got a one-on-one with Peyton Watson. Possibly Eric has Tamar Bates. You just never know. It's always Morse code when it comes to Eric.
All right. Well, what do you think of this game?
So this game was an interesting one. I was shocked that the Nuggets lost, especially in that fashion, because they owned the rebound battle. It wasn't even close. They almost doubled them in rebounds, and if you win that battle, you most likely win the game. But this was a game that I was a bit shocked on the guard play. Really, they went with Reese Beekman as the starting point guard, and I thought that was a idea that you could see if Tamar Bates would be the guard, if he would be able to take on those duties as he's the two-way guy, and he did not. He came off the bench. So this was like a bigger lineup. We got to see Hunter Tyson go at it. We got to see the return of DaRon Holmes. We got to see Spencer Jones on it, and then Tyrell Harrison, who actually shot in this game. He had the 13 points. He was a plus 14 in the game, eight rebounds in the game. So, this was a game of the big man. It was great to see DaRon Holmes get settled because I did think that he started off a bit shaky, started to get himself going, and he started to look like himself or who we expected him to be. It was great to see him start to put the ball in the basket, especially in that second half.
Yeah, what do you think of DaRon's game? We were pretty impressed, but watching it in person, what do you think?
First off, he's way bigger than you expect,
Yeah.
especially as you get closer. It's like some of those guys that you could look at and you say, like, oh, they're tall. But you can see that he's big. He's aggressive, and he started to become a bit more aggressive as the game went on. And that was something that, the coaching staff pretty much challenged him with. We got to talk to DaRon Holmes after the game, and he got to discuss the ability of, like, I need to be a bit more aggressive. Coaches told me that I need to do that, and you got to see that. He did talk about their injury last year. He said it's a blessing to be able to get through that game. That was on his mind going into the game. But I really liked what I seen from him. He shot the 3-ball well. They have been talking about him being the best shooter on the team. We got to see that. He knocked down a couple of 3-pointers, went 3 of 5 from deep. I liked what I seen from DaRon Holmes.
Any other insights or quotes or observations from hanging out inside of the intimate Cox Pavilion there in Vegas?
Yeah, with Hunter Tyson, this is his third year. This is his third year in Summer League. So you want to just see if things pop. And I think that things popped in this game. I don't think this was a great Hunter Tyson game, but he's rebounding, he's scoring, he's being aggressive, he's trying to get to his spots. He went 4 of 14 from the field, which lets me know that he's trying to shoot the ball. He is trying to, will himself into a good game. So I like that from Hunter Tyson. He looks like the vet on the team that is supposed to be in that spot. I really like that from him. Spencer Jones did not have a great game. I thought he would do a bit more things out there, just because of what we see when he's in the game. Not aggressive, not knocking down shots, didn't really look assertive. So those things kind of stood out for me. But I did like what I seen from E.J. Liddell, just being very aggressive, grabbing rebounds, especially with the injuries that we've seen, in college. And then also, I really was impressed by Tyler Harrison off the bench. As the big man, just really in the game. I thought that he started off horribly. And I was like, who is this guy? And then he started to make play after play after play. And when he's out there, they're winning. So that's what stood out for me.
Nice, Dev. Well, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for the insight and analysis. I think we're going to check in with D-Line now. He's apparently calling in as well from probably the same gym, or I don't even know, but appreciate it, Dev.
Yo, what up?
There he is.
Look, I've got Tamar Bates and Adam Mares.
Oh, it's perfect.
There he
Let's
is.
go.
Nuggets two-way signing Tamar Bates.
Hey, Tamar, hopefully you can hear us well, man. How did that feel for you to get out there? How'd that feel for you to get out there in a team setting and obviously a tough result, but how did it feel for you tonight just getting to play?
Really good. You need to try to tell yourself, I'm not nervous, I'm good.
Damn, connection not great. Yeah, connection
I think we're gonna
not
have to
great.
let them go, but we appreciate Tamar Bates trying to hang out with us. That was really cool. That was actually genuinely awesome. Really, the internet's not working there.
Damn, unfortunate.
That's such a huge bummer. I was really excited to chop it up with Tamar Bates there for a
know.
second. Well, let me ask you this. As they possibly change the rotation up, I wonder if Tamar Bates is a guy that gets to start in game 2. Again, he's on that 2-way contract. So he's a guy that we know Denver wants to get a look at, did not get to start tonight. And I wonder if that would be different in game 2. Are we going to try?
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Much better.
Yeah, nah, I was just saying, like, it's human nature to kind of be a little nervous, have some jitters, but I just tried to, not let a make or a miss shot, determine my energy and how I was going to play on the floor. But it felt really good to finally get, on the floor with the guys. And, I ain't played 5-on-5 in a setting like that since the season ended, so I'm just excited to be hooping.
I got a question for you, Tamar. What was it that made you want to sign with Denver? Because I'm sure you had other interest out there for a 2-way, but what was the reason you decided the Nuggets were the right spot for you?
Honestly, one, this is a championship organization, and coming into the NBA, the people that they have in the front office and the coaching staff, they were the people that I really wanted to learn from. A lot of really good veterans in the locker room that that are going to teach me how to be a professional and an NBA player. And then I got guys that are from Kansas City and Spencer and CB that would help me get a lot more acclimated to being a pro. So, I mean, there were so many positives, and, you know, I've seen how much better Christian and Spencer have gotten being in this organization. So I just, you know, felt like it was a really good fit for me.
One more for you, man. Obviously, the fans are really excited to see DaRon Holmes' second return to action. Brutal injury for him last year in this spot. What'd you see from your teammate tonight, and how cool was it to see him back on the floor?
That boy was hooping.
He was.
It was hooping.
What y'all saw is what I've been seeing since I got to Denver when we've been in training camp. And I played against DaRon. We played against each other when we were 16. He was playing with Powerhouse Hoops, and I was playing with Run GMC, and that was the first time we met and kind of connected back then. And I knew he was an NBA player from the time I played him. And that was actually in Kansas City, too, at an Under Armour session. But he played a great game. I know he's excited to get back on the floor and be hooping again because nobody likes, you know, going through injuries. You know, it sucks to see that, you know, no matter who it is, whether it's a teammate or not. But DaRon's he's a great player, and he's definitely going to, you know, help, you know, the team this year, and, you know, the organization, everybody obviously knows what they're doing by drafting him and making sure they continue to develop him and believe in him. He's a hell of a player.
Awesome, man. Well, Tamar, I appreciate you hopping on with us. Good luck in game number 2, man. We'll be watching.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Enjoy Vegas, brother.
Tamar Bates.
All right, Tamar. Live there from Cox Pavilion. Sorry that the audio wasn't perfect. We appreciate you guys hanging out and giving it a go. Cool from Adam and Eric to try that.
What do you think of Bates' game? Because we didn't hit him in segment 1.
His first stint was really rough. You know, we mentioned this. He's a guy coming out of college where his 2 best years were at Missouri, but he had a negative assist to turnover ratio there.
Yeah.
And he comes into the game and he turns it over twice in a row. So that was tough. But he was coming in off the bench, didn't get to start with the other guys, and I thought he settled in a little bit. I'll tell you what popped, though, man. For a guy who's known as an efficient scorer, 50, 40, 90 at Mizzou, I had heard it was his defense that impressed people at camp. It was his defense today that popped. He had 3 steals, which I believe led the team. So, you know, an interesting showing from a guy who we know can get hot and can be a microwave scorer.
He had a rough start to this game. Couple turnovers. Seemed like he was kind of pressing a little bit. But I thought settled in a little as the game went on. Had a couple nice finishes. Hit a 3 in that corner. I think that was in the second half, third quarter
that
maybe.
Sounds right. Yep.
3 steals. The wingspan I noticed. That was something we talked about on the watch along. The length. He's 6'4", 6'5", maybe, but he's got long arms. He's got a long wingspan, and you felt that on the defensive end of the floor with him. So, you know, he's got a 2-way spot. He's got a 2-way contract right now. His rep is as a bucket getter. But I could kind of see the intrigue about the other parts of his game too.
He mentioned wanting to be developed into a secondary ball handler and a guy that can give the ball to bring up the floor. Again, reading the floor is the knock on him as a playmaker. So that's the issue. But I like that he identified it as a thing that he wants to get better as, because you have to be able to at least bring the ball up the floor as a guard. And, you know, you mentioned he has a really long wingspan, so I'm curious to see how that aids him defensively as a shooting guard. Interesting guy. Again, I don't know of many people you describe as a scorer with a negative assist to turnover ratio that are also hyper efficient.
50, 40, 90.
Really interesting prospect. So his first 2 years at Indiana did not go as well as the Mizzou years, but he really played well for the Tigers. And I'm curious to see if he gets to start, if he gets to play with different lineups in game 2.
So he to me is honestly maybe the number 1 guy I'm most intrigued by going into game 2.
I think so as well.
He's probably the number 1 guy that I look at and say, all right, I wonder what he's going to do in game 2. Showed a couple flashes today, but I don't think this was his best game or like his best effort. Saw what Holmes could do. Really excited to watch him in his second game as well. But now I'm like, all right, Tamar Bates probably going to get a little more playing time, I would assume, in game 2. Now I really want to see, what he's got in the tool bag.
So I wonder if you could take Spencer Jones out of the starting lineup, not as a punishment, because Spencer's got his two-way contract as well.
This is also, I know I said on the pregame that I thought Spencer Jones was going to look great.
He did not eat.
He did not look good. And after watching, it took one quarter, I can tell you he's probably not going to look great.
We can,
This is not the environment for him.
we can pull on that thread more on the other side.
Let's hit another break, second break, and we'll talk about some other, lasting observations. And also, David Adelman had some interesting things to say about Jonas Valanciunas on the broadcast. We'll talk about that too on the other side.
Looking forward to it. Empire today, the goats of flooring, the emperors of flooring. They live and breathe flooring. It's not just something they do, it's the thing that they do. It's not just one thing that their showroom employees are trained to talk about. It's the thing that their showroom employees are trained to talk about. And they're trained specifically to bring that showroom to your home, right? This is a very costly commitment. And the last thing you want to do is make that commitment and realize, I liked the color in the store. It's not the right color for my space in my home with my things. Or even worse, the measurements were off. New questions pop up once the installers are there. That just should not be the case. Get precise measurements taken. Have all of your questions answered so there are no surprises. And again, let their flooring experts bring the showroom right to your home at Empire today. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code DNVR. You heard that right, $350. Nothing to sneeze at.
Nope.
With code DNVR, restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/DNVR for full details.
Also, we're live from the Toyota Lounge, and Toyota's the official vehicle of DNVR. Toyota, they got everything, man. Trucks, cars, SUVs. They got the 2024 Land Cruiser, the iconic Land Cruiser. They brought that back last year. They got the all-new Tacoma. 17 models with available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive like the Epic 4Runner. They got more low and zero-emission vehicles combined than any other automaker to give customers numerous choices to reduce their carbon footprint. 16 different hybrids to choose from, like the Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck. SUVs like the RAV4 and Grand Highlander. So check out Toyota. Look, if you're in Colorado, if you're anywhere, Toyota, they have the perfect car for you. I can guarantee you that. No matter what type of driving you do. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Rapala and Centennial. Corwin Toyota and Boulder. Groove Toyota in Littleton. Mountain States Toyota in Denver. Stevenson Toyota East and Aurora. Stevenson Toyota West and Lakewood. And Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR, and they're the official vehicle and a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets. Let's go places. All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets post-game lounge. Yeah, the only other guy we really haven't hit on that played a big role was, I guess, from the starters was Spencer Jones. And yeah, it doesn't seem like really the environment for him. But his defense was good. Even though he did commit 5 fouls, I think some of that might be, okay, a summer league foul is not exactly the same as an NBA foul. You can probably get away with a little more in the NBA than in summer league. They were calling the game pretty tight. But yeah, probably not the best environment for him. And then Boo Buie, kind of a bucket off the bench. I liked what he gave the Nuggets in 12 minutes today.
So you get two different point guard looks here.
Yeah.
Reese Beekman went ahead and got you a team-high 6 assists and only 2 turnovers.
Let me stop you for a second.
Yeah.
Does he not look exactly like Jalen Pickett?
If you were watching tonight
man?
and you were confused, no headband. That's how you can tell the difference.
He's Jalen Pickett 2.0.
Dribbling up high.
He has the same run and walk.
He honestly legitimately looked just like Jalen Pickett.
It was wild. Anyways, go ahead.
No, you are right. So again, clarifying, Jalen Pickett, not on the Summer League roster. You may think you see him out there. That's Reese Beekman, who got the start tonight. And Reese was more of a table setter, who did finish with the team by 6 assists and 2 turnovers and a +1. Boo Buie, he's a scoring guard. 1 assist, but he got 10 points up, got himself to the line 5 times, hit that nice floater. He's a guy who's not afraid to shoot. And again, I wonder if just because they can, for variety's sake, if he gets to start and Beekman comes off the bench in game 2. But that's sort of how I look at the breakdown. Beekman.
Well, it's weird. They don't have a great point guard.
They don't have a true floor general.
They don't have a true table setter.
No, but Beekman, I think, played the part more than Buie.
He's trying to play the part, yeah.
And I got to say, I think both of those guys impressed me a little bit in different ways. It was a rough start and it felt like they were lacking that creation.
Yeah.
But I think by the end, both those guys, threw their names in the hat for guys who played well.
Yeah.
On Spencer Jones, for me, I did think he defended well.
Yeah.
He's like you said, he's not a guy who's going to cook anyone. He's not so in unorganized basketball, maybe he doesn't pop. But the big Spencer Jones question is, the form is terrible. The numbers were incredible in the G League.
Yeah.
Is he a shooter or not?
Too early to tell.
You watch him shoot, you say absolutely not.
Right.
Ask a scout, they'll say yes. Look at the numbers, they say yes.
Ask a former Nuggets GM, he'd say yes.
He was 0 for 2 tonight, so just something to watch for him. He's supposed to be a capable shooter. We'll see if that comes around.
Curtis Jones, no real takeaways.
I don't have a much
thought
on Curtis Jones. He was aggressive. He got 6 threes up, which led the team.
Yeah. Had a rough turnover, though, and then Keontae Johnson, no real notes there.
No real notes. He didn't really pop to me at all. And, of course, no minutes from the Rain Man, Rain Smith.
You were a little disappointed by that.
I wasn't expecting him, but I wanted to see him play.
Yeah. Nuggets fall 90-89. Summer League opener. Again, if you missed it at the top of the show, I kind of ran through what happened. This was an ugly first half and a really bad first quarter from Denver. And even though they only trailed 19-18, a bad second quarter as well. It looked like it was going to be a real disaster. But they played well in the third and fourth quarters. They played well in the second half. We're in position to win this game. We're up by 2 in the final possession with 5 seconds left. They had a crazy possession. DaRon Holmes missed a jumper, and then Liddell had this tip slam to put them up to 89-87.
Monster tip
Bucks
slam.
called a timeout, and Jamari Bouye hit this dagger game winner 3. Nice move he put on.
By the way, the Bucks
Liddell
hit
also
like 4 crunch time bombs.
I know they kind of were clutching this game.
It was almost a blowout at one point, dude. The Nuggets pulled away, and then the Bucks just refused. Chris Livingston, Pete Nance, Cormac Ryan.
Yeah,
game high plus
he
16.
Kind of had a nice game.
They had 2 guys score 18 points, Chris Livingston and Cormac Ryan. But yeah, really, really clutch threes, and Bouye, man. Booyah, as I said earlier. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
DaRon Holmes II played really well in game 1.
Yeah.
I think that was literally the top of everyone's wish list.
Yep.
Over the result of the game, over all of it. You would take that.
Yeah.
For game 2, is it the same thing? Is there another thing you would like to see? Is it more the same from DaRon?
It's Tamar Bates.
Tamar Bates.
Yeah, he's got my attention for game 2 because he's on the 2-way contract. The Nuggets obviously think pretty highly of him. Interesting that he came off the bench, though. I wonder if that's kind of the role they see him as, instant offense type guy. So they're already trying to put him in that situation. But I got to think he plays a little more in game 2. Definitely more than 20 minutes. Maybe you throw him in the starting lineup. Maybe you give Hunter Tyson or Spencer Jones a game off. And then maybe you bring them back for the next game. But, DaRon Holmes was at the top of my list. And game 2 on Saturday, I believe that's against Minnesota. I want to see more from Tamar Bates. Absolutely. What about you?
I have the same answer, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I kind of think I understand what Spencer Jones is, which is maybe if someone gets hurt, he can play. He can literally play. I think that the boat has left harbor on Hunter Tyson.
Just left harbor.
Just to put it gently.
Yeah.
So he might play better, as we've seen him do, but I don't know if that informs anything.
Yeah.
To me, it's Tamar Bates for sure. And then honestly, dude, at this point, Tyrell Harrison, does he start again? Does he play well again? Because I think the centers have a chance to pick up that last 2-way spot, and he's the guy that popped, of course, at 7-1.
And I don't know if you saw Minnesota, they got a pretty good summer league team.
Do they?
They had a guy, Behringer, a rookie, who had, I think, 7 blocks today.
Good
tied
God.
a G League or a summer league record. They got Dillingham, Leonard Miller, Shannon. So they got a good squad.
Oh, Shannon and Dillingham are back again?
Yeah.
Dude, they're going to win Summer League. That's a very good Summer League team.
Yeah, they're back.
Shannon's a bucket. Dev and I were watching him in all last year. Not surprised when he checked into a playoff game and was unafraid.
Yeah. I kind of want to go around the association in a second.
Okay.
And kind of go through some box scores. But first, though, David Adelman was doing a in-game interview on NBA TV or whatever, ESPN, wherever the game was being shown.
Yeah.
And he had a couple interesting quotes I saw. One was about Jonas Valanciunas. And, of course, that trade is not official. I think it's probably going to go through tomorrow.
Yeah.
All the talk has been it will go through sometime this week. Well, we got 1 day left in this week. I think it should become official tomorrow. David Adelman says he sees Jonas Valanciunas as a point center who doesn't need a true point guard in the same lineup. He named DeMarcus Cousins as Denver's last backup center, who had a similar skill set to Jokic.
No doubt about it.
We can save the part about will Valanciunas play for the Nuggets next season. We can hit that in a second. But just this quote, a point center and a guy who doesn't need a true point guard in the same lineup.
That I'm gonna keep it real. Feels a little overstated.
Yeah, I've never thought of Valanciunas as a point center.
I think Valanciunas is a high IQ player who can keep the ball moving, can probably make some plays as a center. I would not describe him as a point. When I hear point center, I think Jokic. Right? So
You're not wrong.
not quite the same thing, but I mean, sure, he is a center that can maybe do more than just be a big guy.
Yeah.
And the last time we saw a center with some skill and any sort of court vision was Boogie. I agree. And that was the fun thing about his tenure.
He is more of a point center. Cousins,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Boogie was one of the real playmaking centers prior to Jokic.
Yeah. The way I would describe Valanciunas, I get what Adelman's saying when he says he doesn't need a true point guard.
Sure.
Because how Valanciunas gets buckets is you just dump him the ball in the post and he scores.
Right.
And like really a lot of guys can do that. Or you just give it to him at the nail, at the elbow, and he just like shot fakes, goes to the rim or hits a jumper. He can get buckets on his own. I get that part of it. That he doesn't necessarily need that true point guard. I mean, he's got more passing chops than a lot of centers. Maybe he's comparing him to just Nuggets backup centers of the past.
I don't think he's trying to make a statistical argument, but it's worth noting. Career 1.4 assists per game, Jonas Valanciunas.
Hey, man, maybe he's just never been asked to show his passing chops.
Maybe he's a guy with passing chops. Point center seems a bit much. But also, I wonder if it's a little preemptive packaging for, like, the plan, which is it's going to be Bruce and Jamal. Like it, maybe Jalen Pickett, but maybe learn. Don't expect another point guard to join the roster.
Can I go to conspiracy corner?
Yeah, go
really
for
quick?
it. Why not? Summer League Game 1.
So we talked about this a little on the pregame show. There was a video put out by Michael Porter. There we go, conspiracy corner.
Perfect.
There's a video put out by Michael Porter, an unbelievable thank you Nuggets video that you should definitely go watch after this show. About just his gratitude for the organization for taking a chance on him. He shouted out everybody, gave thanks to everybody in the organization, the coaches, his teammates, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic. It was a real classy goodbye video from MPJ. But in that video, he said that he randomly ran into John Wallace, who's now the Nuggets executive vice president of player personnel in the front office.
Thought it was a fan. Just kidding.
Did not know he was, quote unquote, the Nuggets GM or whatever. This was after John Wallace was hired before the trade.
Shout out Mike.
And Mike said in this video that John Wallace was kind of inferring to him that Porter's still going to be on the team. And Porter said they were talking about bringing in, a backup point guard to set the table for me in the second unit.
Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe the Porter trade came out of nowhere, but maybe the Valanciunas trade came out of nowhere. And before that, they were like, all right, we're going to get a true point guard. And then the Valanciunas trade came. They're like, he doesn't need a point guard.
Yeah.
Did that track?
Maybe no. I'm following. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I think with the Cam Johnson trade, it's a trade they tried to make before, but one thing they didn't know.
Same with the Valanciunas trade,
Same with the Valanciunas trade, but they didn't have the 2032 available to them.
Yeah.
And then they didn't know if just to take you behind the curtain, owners are involved in a lot more of the big decisions than you might think. I mean, I know our fans really know this already, but just in case you don't, even something like leaving protections off or on a first round pick, ownership might have a say. And maybe the Nuggets just didn't know till the last second, hey, this pick is greenlit if you want to use it to go get Cam, and that kind of changed the plan. All the same, They do have Bruce, who's more of a default de facto point guard. I don't really think of him as one.
He's combo.
And then Jamal Staggering could very well still play with that unit. So I imagine we'll have a guard on the floor. I don't know if I'd call Big Val a point center, but I digress.
Yeah. David Adelman also said, quote, everybody says that everybody can play with Nikola, but some people are built to play with Nikola.
Wow.
And he's referring to Cam Johnson.
That's a great quote.
In that quote.
That's a great quote.
Cam Johnson, he did a podcast. He's like on it's now, I think, called The Young Man and the 3 podcast. Formerly JJ Redick. And now, or not JJ Redick, but
Tommy Alter.
Yeah, Tommy, that guy who's everywhere somehow. And Cam Johnson, and he's on it a lot. Tim Hardaway Jr. was on it too. Yep. And
is Cam Johnson the Aaron Gordon of Michael Porter Jr.?
I was gonna say he's like a basketball Aristotle. I feel like he thinks the game. He has dissected the game to a point where, when he talks about it, you feel like you know nothing about basketball.
Yeah.
He's talking about the angles and where you have to
Sounds
stand.
like a nerd.
The spacing. He's like a basketball nerd. He really is.
Yeah.
And I think just that intelligence with Jokic is kind of what David Adelman's getting at.
On the Hooper basketball spectrum, Cam Johnson is a basketball player.
Never been more of a basketball player.
Never been more of a basketball player. I think that's a really good quote. I think he's just sort of built to understand the game, and that I think you just need those types of pieces that are able to keep it fluid around a guy who more often than not will generate a good look, maybe as much as any player I've ever watched in my life. So I'm really excited for the Cam Johnson fit, and I say that as a huge Michael Porter fan.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Cam Johnson fit as well.
That video is great, by the way. You should watch it if you missed it.
Dude, it was an incredible video, man. I put this out on Twitter. I cannot remember a just more honest and classy and gracious thank you video than the one Michael Porter put out when a player leaves the team.
Yeah, it felt real, which is the part
it was a nice way to close the book on his time here.
This is not a controversy, Mike's departure. It's I think it's all things considered, it's pretty gentle here.
Yeah.
You want to go around the association for a little
let's
bit?
go around the association.
All right, well, let's start, brother, where I think most people who are watching tonight. Well, hang on. Got to let this really high-fi graphic load and render. And it's done already. Oh, okay. Those are all the elements to that? Okay. Cooper Flagg made his Las Vegas debut tonight, Harrison Wind. That's why the Nuggets were in Cox Pavilion.
How'd he do?
Well, it was a winning debut, an 87-85 win for the Mavericks over the Lakers. Does it mean anything? No. Did the Lakers lose? Heck yeah, they did. But let's look at Cooper Flagg personally. Harrison, he was not gun shy. He's a really kind of multi-tool prospect. People talk about his defense and his rebounding. They don't necessarily talk about his shot making the way they would of a Kevin Durant or something. But man, it was about the shots tonight, not the shot making. 21 attempts for Cooper Flagg, 5 makes, 5 of 21 from the field, good for 24%. Did finish with 10, 6, 4, and 3, but -1, 5 of 21 in his debut. Meanwhile, Ryan Nembhard, yes, brother of Andrew
Nembhard, right?
They look very similar. They play very similarly. Ryan Nembhard dropped 21 points tonight on 8 of 14 shooting. He was the Maverick that stole the show. Cooper Flagg,
wow,
not so much tonight.
So I watched the first couple minutes of this game. Cooper Flagg looked a little nervous.
Yeah.
A little nervous, Thomas and Mack Center, a lot of, apparently like a sold out Thomas and Mack Center. People were paying hundreds of dollars to see this game. Going up against Bronny James, who actually kind of hit a step back on him very early in this game.
Oh, let's get those stats going.
Then I think he only hit one more bucket the rest of the game.
2 of 8. Yep.
But did have that one. Cooper Flagg looked a little nervous. His jumper looked pretty off, and that's kind of the one question mark about his offensive game is the jump shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting that he struggled. I'm sure he'll bounce back, but
I remember as a group, we watched Victor Wembanyama struggle.
Oh, he looked terrible, yeah.
And Kill, you were with us, I believe, right? You, me, and Eric, particularly in the crowd. And he just really struggled. and it did not matter at all. So no big takes for me tonight on Cooper Flag, but it's worth noting. Also, Dalton Connect, who hasn't exactly been connecting on his look so far in Summer League. 6 of 16 tonight.
3 of 7 from 3, though.
3 of 7 from 3. Respectable. 15
Getting
points
that
for
trade
Dalton
value
Connect.
up.
Getting that trade value up.
Just to put Summer League in context for people, the most dominant player I've seen at Summer League in the last 5 years was Scoot Henderson, and then he came to the league and immediately was terrible.
He was nasty at Summer
Insane.
League. You know who else looked really good? I don't know about the numbers, but for little stretches, Cam Whitmore was a guy, like, he dunked, and I was he shouldn't be here.
He's exactly the type of guy that's going to cook.
But, yeah, one more great name, by the way, for all my Marko Markovic fans. I got that wrong. I completely.
You were kind of getting grilled by the chat for your
I did.
pronunciation
Bokolyub Markovic. There it is. How about Sir Jabari? Sir Jabari Rice. Sir
What team is he on?
Jabari Rice. He is a Laker.
Gotcha.
Let's go to Philly. I want to see if VJ Edgecombe played in this game. I don't think he did, so that's going to immediately...
He's got a thumb injury. This is shaping up to be a classic 76ers injury.
Oh, my God. He's a real 76er already.
Shout out Zaire Smith, peanut allergy.
He fits in. Oh, man. They find all types of ways to screw it up. Yeah, not a lot of exciting names in this one. Oh, how about this one? Nuggets fans? Plus 17 in 20 minutes played. Jameer Nelson Jr.
Jesus Christ, I'm old.
Jameer Nelson Jr. My dad loved watching Jameer Nelson in college. One of the original short kings.
Your dad. I loved watching Jameer Nelson in college. I remember Jameer Nelson in college.
He was a great
Him
player.
and Delonte West at St. Joe's. Iconic team.
You know what Jameer Nelson was? The most underappreciated Jokic point guard of the Jokic era.
Yeah, the first.
The first. He was legitimately good here. All right, what else do we got? Sacramento pulled out a win over the Orlando Magic. Let's take a look at the stats. CU friend of the state, Tristan Da Silva, 8 of 15, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He's a little older of a prospect. He was good at Summer League last year.
He seems like a too good for Summer League guy.
And probably not quite.
Wasn't he starting for a lot of last season?
I think he was like bubble on the rotation at one point, depending on injuries, and was good at Summer League last year. You're right. A little older guy, too, probably does not need to come back to Summer League next time.
Yeah, I think he's done.
Too good for him. How about...
They have Jace Richardson. Have you ever seen him play?
He's one of my guys for sure.
I like Jace Richardson. I think he's going to be a bucket in the NBA.
He was... they have Scal. Scal with 14 and 5.
BCA, wow.
How
I don't
old
know
is
if
he
I'd
now?
see his name again. Wendell Moore Jr., I liked him in the draft. He hasn't done anything.
Let's keep talking about some Colorado kids for a second, because we got 2 in Sacramento. Isaiah Stevens played tonight. He was 1 of 6 in 15 minutes.
CSU point guard.
So not a great start for the CSU point guard Isaiah Stevens. Of course, Neek Clifford as well, drafted by the Sacramento Kings. How about Neek Clifford, Harrison? 17 points in his Summer League debut.
What's funny about Neek Clifford is he's a very similar player to Tristan Da Silva.
He really is, actually.
I feel like that's the kind of player who's going to be in the NBA, too.
He's like better Tristan Da Silva. 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Shout out Neek Clifford. That's a fun one, dude.
Former CU Buff and CSU Ram.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Looks like Indiana picked up a narrow win over the Cavs. Let's take a look. I don't know right off the top of my head.
Jalen Tyson for the Cavs. He was my favorite guy in that DaRon Holmes draft for Denver. He had a big game, 20 and 12.
Johnny Furphy, not great. Yeah, not a superstar-studded one here. How about that Minnesota team we talked about? This is Denver's next opponent.
Yeah, so Nuggets are playing the Timberwolves on Saturday.
And the Timberwolves won 98-91.
We'll be here for that one as well.
Let's actually stick with New Orleans before we get to Minnesota. A couple of names to look at. Derek Queen, the draft pick that they gave up some capital for. Pretty good. Double-double, 13, 10, and 3. 8 defensive rebounds, 10 total rebounds.
7 turnovers.
7 turnovers
So I saw some tweets at the beginning of this game that were like, I've watched a lot of Summer League and I'm not going to overreact, but Derek Queen just had the worst half of any Summer Leaguer I've ever seen.
Oh,
but
amazing.
His stat line looks okay.
It's the turnovers, though. I did miss that. 7 turnovers is a lot. 7 turnovers also for their other draft pick, Jeremiah Fears. He did pour in 14 points, but yeah, 14 combined turnovers from their 2 top picks. One more name for you. old pal Trey Alexander.
Trey Day.
Logged 14 minutes, 37 seconds for the Pelicans. It did not go well. He was 0 of 3 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, 2 assists, and that's it.
He's looking at Tamar Bates' stat line and being like, God damn, man.
And now we take you to an absolutely loaded Minnesota Timberwolves team.
Are they trying to win Summer League?
Let's give you some names here. Terrence Shannon Jr., he's a
Played
bucket.
in the playoffs.
Leonard Miller, Jalen Clark, Rob Dillingham. Man, this is a team that if they wanted to, we'll see how much they play everyone. If they wanted to, they could mess around and make some noise. And that's exactly what Terrence Shannon Jr. did. I like this guy. Big lefty bucket. Is he a lefty? Did I make that up? Big bucket. Really big body. Not afraid to shoot. 20 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. Really impressive. As Harrison pointed out, he actually logged some playoff minutes. So a guy Tim Connolly and company believe in. Leonard Miller as well. 20 points on 9 of 17 shooting with
Shannon
9
is
rebounds.
left-handed.
He is left-handed. All right, I knew I didn't make that up. Not so much for Rob. 4 of 14 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. You know, it's going to be an interesting year for Rob Dillingham. They need his minutes.
Yeah.
So
He had
he's also
7 turnovers in this game, too.
Did he as well? Wow, unbelievable. Magic number in this game.
Yeah, Timberwolves also have Joan Behringer, a rookie, like 7-footer, 6 blocks
Oh, that's right, Behringer. Yep.
in this game.
That's right. Yeah, they have Behringer. Man, they really are loaded.
That's going to be an interesting matchup on Saturday.
It's going to be a fun. You remember that when Tim first left and they were first matched up in Summer League, and all of a sudden that game felt like it had weight to it. Josh Minot and stuff screaming
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, 2
some
years
front
ago.
office beef across the room.
I know.
Really something.
Adam Silver loves to pit the Nuggets against the Timberwolves every chance he gets.
How could you not?
Yeah.
How could you not? And of course, the Thunder won. Everyone boo accordingly.
Yeah, all they do is win.
I mentioned it because Nikola Topic played in this game.
Oh,
He
God.
was 7 of 18 from the field, but he did score 18
Our
points
Serbian brother.
with 4 rebounds and 6 assists for the Brooklyn Nets. Obviously, they drafted a whole lot of guys. Danny Wolf was 0 of 5. That checks out. On the other side of that kind of white guy coin, you have Drew Timme, who
What
was
is
awesome.
going on with the Nets, man?
22 points, 10 of 13 shooting. Drew Timme going to be our next Summer League legend. There's no doubt about it. Igor Damon,
Yeah, Igor Demon.
8 points, 4 rebounds, nothing spectacular there. And then Nolan, 3 of 5 from the floor. Ben
8th overall
Seraph.
pick.
Ben Seraph was 1 of 5. Man, I don't know if I've ever seen a team work so aggressively to get so many first-round draft picks and blow possibly all of
Well,
them.
you followed what happened with the Nets, right? They had all these draft picks,
Yeah.
and they just picked all these passers.
Yep.
None of these guys they picked can shoot. They
should've-
just picked like 5
Unbelievable.
passers.
And they got Drew Timme. Should have sent Mike to Summer League.
Yeah.
Let him dribble.
There's the moth.
All right, chat. We made it through most of this. We straight up are out of stuff to talk about with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
We got 3 super chats
Super
here.
chats. Josh Barnett from Down Under. Brisbane equals Brisbane or Bris Vegas, as they say.
Josh Burnett from Down Under also sent us a package that I said we were going to open during the watch along, but the game got interesting.
It actually did, yeah.
I forgot about the package. We will open it on Saturday, Josh. Josh sent us a package straight from Australia with some Australian goodies.
Does every continent have like their version of Vegas? Like
a great
Europe has
question.
Monaco. Apparently Australia has Brisbane.
I mean, the East Coast has Atlantic City. Not that it's the same thing. I'm just saying you don't even have to leave the country
Yeah, that's true.
to get to another Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, New Jersey is kind of its own country.
that is true.
What's the Vegas of Asia?
Hong Kong for sure, right?
I don't know. You tell me.
Hong Kong.
I don't know.
Or aren't
You
they?
sounded pretty
Aren't
confident
they
in that
technically
answer.
like not governed by China?
Well, I don't know. I don't know
it
how
is
that
like-
would
rules
shake
are
out with
different?
like
Yeah.
casino stuff, but sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, we almost got to the bottom of it.
Interesting topic.
Kyle M. Hey, Wind.
What's up, Kyle?
And the Stone Shooter. I unfortunately had an emergency surgery today. The game, the watch along, Holmes looking great. And the Moth have been highlights to a heavily medicated night. So thank you from this quiet diehard. Hey,
Hey, man.
best of luck in your recovery. I hope the meds are great. I hope
We
the
really
meds feel
appreciate it,
awesome.
man. Look, we were on the watch along tonight. First half was tough. Second half was fun. But that really means a lot, man. That's why we do it. Everybody just wants to hang out, you know?
Macau, says the chat. That's our next trip, Macau. We're going together
Macau.
as a
Yeah,
group.
that's actually it. Yeah, Vegas is.
So the next game is when, Harrison?
Saturday night.
How about that?
We'll be here. Definitely on the post game show. We'll see about a watch along though. And yeah, looking forward to it. Minnesota should be an interesting matchup. I came into this summer league not really full of expectations, but I am excited to see what happens on Saturday.
Man, I had a great time. I did not expect to have so much fun tonight. So.
Guys, thanks for tuning in on this post-game show. We'll be back Saturday. Leave us a like, and have a good night, everybody.
You
We'll talk
sickos.
to you in a couple days.
We all silly like the mayor.